If you're having issues where your console is not tracking your strokes, a couple of tests to do. Here, get your seat and shift it back and forth. You see here, I shift the seat back and forth and the console counts. There is a sensor here that detects each seat pass, and there's also a magnet here that the sensor detects. So it could be that you're missing the magnet, so check to see if you have a magnet. If you do have the magnet and it's a case of you're not sure the sensor is actually detecting it, get another magnet and then just run it past that sensor, and then look at your console as you're running the magnet past the sensor. Is it counting? If it's a case of this not detecting this magnet, then you have to pull this out and adjust the amount of the magnet sticking out. So here I'm just pulling it out a little bit, and you see there's still some clearance and my console is counting, but this one is already working, so just one point to play with on this to check for issues. Another thing to check is that you've installed your cable like this, that the cable goes from here to here. There are some cases where customers have mistakenly installed this, but the tension cable is wrapped around this post, and that would cut the wire when it gets set up. You can see here that the wire goes from here, it wraps around this bar, comes back around and goes to the front. If you do that, then this section of the cable will get smashed when you're using the rower. So it may be, if you have this situation, that you'll need to replace this wire. So here, another thing to look at is how this wire is when the rower is folded up for storage. The wire will go underneath this tube, but check to see if you have a plastic end cap. If this plastic end cap isn't here, the wires will be hitting the edge of the tube. So make sure that there's a plastic cap here. If there's no plastic cap here, then it may be a case where your wire is damaged. So look at it for any sort of smashed, pinched off points, and then you'll have to replace this wire in that case if you find a pinched wire. Another point to check on the seat is that this magnet is actually on the same side of the frame as this sensor. Only this side has that shape. You can see this side is flat, so you'll know which side is correct. You may see a case where the seat has been installed backwards in relation to this. So on the right side of the seat there should be the magnet, and then on the rear side of the seat there should be this little curve here, and then in the front of the seat this little bump up. So if those are opposite each other, then you'd have to remove these screws here and twist your seat around to get it installed in the correct direction. So here I'm going to check the console connection. One thing that'll happen when you plug this in is the console will detect it as a row. If you look at the console up here, you'll see as I plug in and plug out, it'll make the console count. So do that check, and that will tell you if the wire from here to the console is good. Another check to do is remove your console from the rower, disconnect this, and then just with the console separate from the rower. And then what you want to do is you want a flathead screwdriver so that you could touch these two little prongs here. And when you touch those two prongs, the console here will start counting up. So delicately push the screwdriver against those two prongs, and you can see how each little contact I make causes the console to count very quickly. So this will tell you if your console is good. And if that's good, then that means your console is going to be working fine, and it's more of a case where there's something wrong with the wires or magnet positioning on the seat to the magnet sensor.